So let me get this straight. Straight? Oh god, LGBTQ behind you! What straight people think will happen if you as a straight man touch anything pink or order a fruity cocktail. This is gonna happen. The gays are gonna come for you and they're gonna grab you. Which makes sense, because if men can joke about getting their man card reversed, you can also get your straight card reversed, right? It works that way, right? Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing some fun ball comics again, because why the hell not? Just why the hell not? But anyways, the deal. Before we continue, y'all gotta get hydrated. So grab some water, or some tea, whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll continue. Do you have your drink? Okay, let's go. During a protest, me, an asexual person, sees a trans person in the distance. Oh my god, there's another queer folk, and they're trans, that's so cool. I want to talk to them, I want to show support to them, I want to be friends with them. But wait, it'll be weird to talk to them right now, but I'm LGBT too, so that's fine. But I don't wear anything that indicates it, no black ring, no pin, no stuff. Trans person just chilling, running past. Nice flag! Thanks. But I kinda get it. Like, I don't have that specific issue because I probably look kinda queer at all times, and especially if I'm out, I usually have a rainbow backpack because it's a really nice size and I always use that backpack. So I think a lot of people will clock me as queer, so if I talk to them it wouldn't be weird, but I'm kind of worried people are gonna talk to me because I'm awkward around people. But I think you showed your support and didn't make the other person uncomfortable, so I guess it worked out well. Talking to a transphobic straight person mentions non-binary people. Not gonna lie, I think you should just choose your gender when you turn 18. What? What if you don't know your gender at 18? Then you should change it with a medical operation. Implied transgender? What? Sis, you can't just say something transphobic one day and then say something affirming a week after. You can, but it's just confusing for everyone involved. It's giving the same kind of vibes of just being so far anti-vax that you go back to being pro-vax, of being oh, what if we just microdose these viruses so our body can build up a resistance to them? That's literally what vaccines are for. It's kind of giving those vibes of just being so far gone, apparently, that you're just going back to being, supportive. Because, yeah, letting people tell you what their gender is and, letting or giving people the space to explore their gender, is a good idea. I'm not sure, 18 is, the age, yeah, a lot of people know at 18. A lot of people also don't. But if we lived in a society where it was normal, a lot of people would probably figure it out sooner, because the reason a lot of people don't figure out until late, or adults in late 30s, 40s, or even later, is because of stigma. So I think if we lived in this society, it might work. What's up? Hey, crap, what's happening? I'm gender wait, what is happening? After a ton of struggle, put gender fluid in an oversized cup. Now to the freezer. The what? Sorry. So is this my life now? Gender frozen. Yep. I'm so sorry, but this is your life now. It is for your safety and for the safety of everyone's rugs and carpets and sofas, because if you as a gender fluid person just keep leaking into everyone's stuff, that's not nice for you, because you keep losing pieces of yourself everywhere, or droplets, I guess. But it's also not nice for everyone else. So I think living in an oversized cup is your life now, and we might have to freeze you regularly during summer. Non-binary person pretending to be straight. I think there should be gender-neutral toilets everywhere. But there are only two genders. You're one with a penis or you're not. But what about non-binary people? They're just faking it to feel special. A few minutes later, an ally asking, "Are you okay?" I'm non-binary. Because surprise, surprise, non-binary people don't stop existing just because you think it's not real. You know, same as gay people or bisexual people don't just stop existing just because you think it's fake or made up or any of those weird things people like saying about queer people in general. But yeah, kind of getting this urge is very fair. Like, especially people at work don't know. It's giving kind of the meme with me of like, I'm non-binary, but I have a job to do right now, so I guess it doesn't matter because people at work don't know, because I don't want to deal with explaining it to a bunch of straight people, really. You know, so everyone just making man jokes or whatever, and then I'm just like coming home just like, I'm not binary. Or if you're just talking to random other people, you need to bring it up because otherwise you feel like you're gonna explode, because people dismiss it a lot and people just say a lot of stereotypical things and it's just frustrating. Homo and transphobic dad. There's no such thing as non-binary. No. Okay. I hoped I wouldn't need this straight passing mask again. She's good at drawing, isn't she? It's they. A couple of hours later, watching YouTube. Hey Spuds. I love this guy. Very good chips. I love that this bag says very good chips. That's a really adorable detail to add, and I love how I knew who you were talking about. Like, you didn't say him, like his name or anything. But I think a lot of trans people know who he is just by you mentioning how he opens his videos. So, we love Jamie, and personally I do still think it's adorable that he says spots. You know, it's really cute, and I just love that it's like a wholesome place to come back to if you're feeling down, so I kind of get that. And I hope you don't have to deal with your dad that much, so you don't have to wear that mask that much, you know? Why are you sitting in a fishbowl? I'm preparing. Yeah, exactly. You gotta prepare, because otherwise someone else is gonna like struggle to scoop you up into a fishbowl or an oversized cup. Or like put you in the bathtub, you know, it's just inconvenient. It's easier if you just put yourself in it, you know. And also, I guess in winter, because you don't wanna like end up freezing to something, right? Because if it suddenly gets really cold and you're just like freezing to random lamps outside or the pavement outside, that's just also very inconvenient. So putting yourself in a fishbowl beforehand seems practical. A bi-ball talking to a lesbian and a straight person. I think I'm bi? Bi? What makes you think that? Well, I dated a guy when I was younger. That doesn't count. Besides, he seemed like a lesbian to me. Okay. I mean, the good thing is your dating history does not matter. Like, a lot of people date genders they're not attracted to while they're figuring themselves out or to hide. You know, it doesn't mean you're not a certain orientation, and the other good news is that it really doesn't matter what other people think. Like, just because other people think you give lesbian vibes doesn't mean you can't be bisexual. You know, it's ultimately very not helpful. You know, and I just love how other people always want to get involved in it. Like, it literally does not concern them. It does not matter to other people, really, but they want to get involved. So, you know, I think you need maybe some more time to figure it out for yourself, or maybe you were sure, and maybe you just need to ignore what other people say. Like, getting other helpful tips by, like, lesbians or bisexual women who are like, you know, this what made it easy for me to like pick out which is more accurate. Like, this is how I know that I'm a lesbian and not bi. Those tips can be helpful, but other people just be like, no, but that doesn't seem right. Like, you seem like this sexuality is ultimately just not helpful. Run! They're coming to take your gender! What? Take my gender? That's not how any of that works. The gender hoarder. Is that what happened? Is that why I'm agender now? Because the gender hoarder just swooped in and took my gender at a very early age, and that's why I just don't understand gender. I kind of feel like that's what happens. That's literally what happened to me, right? Because gender makes absolutely no sense to me. It never did, even as a child. So the gender hoarder got to me very early. You know, so there's that, I guess. Since tea causes menopause symptoms? Wait, tea causes menopause? What kind of tea are you drinking? Testosterone. I meant testosterone. Oh. You know, I think cis people have this kind of reaction a lot more, but yeah, I kind of get that even as trans people, you could just sometimes forget certain slang, right? It's the same with binders. And then people will go like, oh wait, you're going to like Staples? Like, what do you need a binder for? Like, for school? Like yeah, for school maybe, but no. You know, it happens more with straight or like cis people, but it's just funnier when other trans people just forget for a second, you know? But yeah, other T, as in TEA, does not cause menopause, no, or symptoms like menopause, like the same symptoms as menopause. But you know, T might. I can kind of see it. Trans guy talking to a bisexual woman. I think I'm a diversity hire. Why? Because you're trans? Couple of straight women, a lesbian, another bisexual woman. No, because there are literally no men here. They wanted to hire a man, so they were like, you know what? Trans men do it better, we're gonna hire a trans man. But that seems fair. You might be a diversity hire, or you were just like the best candidate who applied at that moment, and I don't think you'll ever be sure. But it would be fun if you and your coworkers just start joking about it, you know, because yeah, you might very well be a diversity hire. Man, I love being Aroace. Wait, does this mean I'll die alone? So I'm really just spending my life devoid of a partner, but I want kids. Don't I need someone to help me take care of them? There's no large life goals anymore. I don't really have a purpose, do I? What's being Aroace without the casual doubts every 5 minutes, you know? Like, personally, I never wanted kids. So that part falls away for me. But I guess it just makes the doubts even bigger if you do. Because, yeah, like a lot of people who want a partner and kids will probably not want to just like raise kids with their best friend or something. So you might have to end up like in a full house situation and just like live somewhere as a third wheel, you know, and then y'all just raise your kids together with your best friend and their partner or something. Or just like live in a big house with several friends and y'all just raise your kids together. It'd be really cool, and personally, if your friend group doesn't fantasize about just buying a house together and just like living somewhere all together, then what are you doing? Because we only talked about this yesterday. Like, we were just like, someone might have to move because their roommate moves to another city, so we were just like joking about moving to a city together and just buying a house and just all living together. It might solve your kid situation if the rest of the people also want kids, you know? A homo and transphobic person wearing a suspicious red hat. This is America, speak English. I use he, him pronouns. Oh, I use he, they pronouns. No, pronouns should be illegal. I love that we know what kind of red hats you mean. And replacing that writing with baby seems kind of accurate as well. Like, these people, I know they've kind of moved on from it, but I feel like they're still calling people like too sensitive or snowflakes or whatever. They just moved on from the term snowflake, I guess. But while they're being the biggest crybaby about things like words, like pronouns and grammar, so it seems accurate. But this is a very good way to react, probably, to just use the English words, you know, but just do it a little differently. Seems like a good idea. Did you see your cousin there? No, they weren't there. I had a falling out with their parents. Because of a girl? Kind of. Because of a boy? Colder. Yeah, they're a trans woman, so yeah, it was kind of because of a girl. A girl their parents did not want to recognize, apparently, so she just went no contact with her parents and didn't show up to the family function, which seems very fair. And I think you should go, like, hang out with her or meet up with her separately. So, are you a boy or a girl? No, I don't have a gender. Oh, so you're agender. What? I just said I'm not a gender. If you're not a gender, you're agender. I do not the gender. Oh. You know, if you don't pronounce it well, then yeah, I really get the confusion. You know, but yeah, if you're not a gender, then you're a gender. I mean, you could also be multiple genders. If you're not a gender, you could also be multiple genders, I guess. But for the sake of the meme, if you're not a gender, you're a gender. Yeah, I'm Aroace. What? You're just too young. You just haven't found the right person yet. You'll grow out of it. Way ahead of you. Huh? When I started wondering if I was Aroace, what do you think the first thing I said to myself was? If you're going to be aphobic, at least find better arguments than 15-year-old me. You're being outperformed by a 15-year-old. So, you know, like, I love that people always think that they're suddenly smarter than the other person. It really doesn't matter what you say. Like, if you come out as any kind of queer, or if you tell people you have ADHD and suddenly everyone's an expert and just like throws random things at you. I mean, it's the same thing like when you say you have a headache, people always go, like, but did you drink enough water? And I do the same thing, I know, but that's because people generally do not drink enough water. You know, but apart from that, just like throwing random medical advice at you, or just like saying random things like they're the first person to think of it, like, trust me, queer people and a lot of like Aroace people will wonder if maybe it is a phase, maybe they're a late bloomer, maybe they really just are attracted to a different gender and just like haven't figured it out yet. You know, Aroace people question that a lot and probably have a little bit of like imposter syndrome and will continue questioning it. So again, you as a random other person will never know more about this person than they know about themselves. Transball with an Aroace tail. I'm finally sure of myself. Looks like I'm right on time then, questioning ball. Oh, fucking shit. Again, I love that we could recognize the questioning ball even if it's not drawn with a question mark on it. But really, why is it like this? Why does it do this? Like, for a lot of people, if they're like, oh, I finally figured out my sexual orientation, and then they start having a gender crisis. You thought you had both figured out, and still had a crisis because of trauma and things you may have previously not ignored, but previously didn't think about because trauma kind of blocked that access. Maybe. Yeah, well, you know, the good thing is you don't need to listen to other people. Like, some people take it way too serious and think it's really weird when people change their labels, but honestly, we're all just living our first life here. We're all just going along, trying to make the best of our life. We're all just like trying to figure everything out. If you get it wrong and then learn more, it's not really getting it wrong. It's more like you thought you had an answer, but then you learn more. And as annoying as it can be, ignore other people who make you feel weird about it. Like, yeah, some people just don't question things and just like take the easy route, or actually got lucky and didn't need to figure it out, or figured it out very quickly, you know. That's not the case for everyone. If it takes you longer and if you have to question it again because you learn more about yourself, then so be it. What they say happens with trans people in women's restrooms. Your pissing room has been conquered. Someone died. Mommy, I'm scared. What actually happens? Okay, just going fast, in and out before anyone sees you. You have entered a player versus player area. Fuck. Yeah, literally. All trans people are thinking is, I really need to pee. I can't hold it any longer. I need to go right now. Okay, I'm just gonna hurry. I hope no one's in here. I'm just gonna run in there, wash my hands, and run out. That's what you're overthinking. And if it's not that dramatic, maybe we're just thinking, oh, I need to use the restroom. I guess I just go in there, wash my hands, and then go out. But the trans people don't go into the bathroom to harass other people. Trans people are the ones being harassed in bathrooms. And cis people who don't match someone's idea of being a woman or being a man get harassed in bathrooms. Literally, you know, trans people do not transition to harass people in bathrooms. You know, that's really not what's happening. Like, that's not what's happening here. Anyways, that was all the cute little comics I have for today. There are also like a lot of timelines on the subreddit of people showing off the labels they thought were right at one point or the other, of like, oh, I might be this orientation or I might be that orientation. So if that's interesting to you, or if you just like want to not feel alone if you change your label, go visit the subreddit, because there are a lot of comics about that. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed these comics, and I hope you're hydrated. If not, maybe doing something now. And I'll be back in a few days with my next video.